In terms of Division II, good games there as well. Frisco and Lincoln really intrigues me. It's a very small roster for Lincoln. They've got playmakers. They've got a quarterback in Donnell. They've got the Neal brothers. They've won 6 in a row. I've seen Frisco play a couple times, and they can really run it, and they want to run it. Steidel and Nolman, those guys can run it. Batalia's a pretty good quarterback. They don't make mistakes on defense. So to me, this is two polar opposites in terms of style, but a very intriguing game.
It's intriguing. Lincoln's coming off a big win. The Neal brothers are explosive. They also have a really good receiver, Emmanuel Porter, who really was a basketball player until a couple years ago. And again, what I like about the DISD, I do not like their special teams. They're going to have trouble, on extra points,
right,
on punt coverage, because they're really thin. Guys have to play a lot of snaps. I don't know if Frisco has speed to exploit that, but Lincoln is a team that they are used to sort of keeping it close, and then all of a sudden you have the Neal brothers who are 5'8", 170-pound
right,
twins, very elusive, very savvy, smart football players. They're the guys that set you up all game where they go, just keep throwing that out right. Just keep thinking I don't have
right,
this covered, and then boom,
you got it.
they're gonna break on it, and they've really set you up on it the whole game and given you 6-8 yard passes. So they're very savvy, very sneaky. That'll be interesting. It'll be hard to pick them. They are really short on depth. So, and Frisco has been one of those programs that's kind of solid. They're not flashy at all. They're a running team. They grind it out, and they like to play the close game, and they do the special teams well. So I'll go with that special team small thing factor with Frisco on them.
I agree. And they do have, and his name escapes me, but they do have a kid that's really a good return kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
that plays both kickoff and punts. And I agree. You especially late in the game, those Lincoln kids, they've been out there the entire night. That's going to wear on you at some point when you're playing quality teams
Right.
like this. Lovejoy and Ennis, I've not been impressed with Lovejoy the entire year, and I know injuries have had a lot to do with that. Ennis is sitting there at 11-0. They can really run the football. I look for Ennis to win this and not have a lot of trouble winning it.
I would think so too. You're not necessarily impressed with Lovejoy when you walk and look at the athletes. They're okay. They're nice players. Really impressed with what they've done. I mean, to lose Bowman Sales, Dakota Michaels was a nice, number 2 quarterback. But, I mean, he had to play most of the year. Now they're having to move Chachi loose from receiver over there.
Yeah.
So that we're even talking about them is pretty impressive. But I think Ennis is their running back is going to Baylor, just like everyone goes, who's Shock, Linwood, or who are these kids Baylor get? Well, their next who is this kid Baylor got is the Ennis running back, Terrence Williams.
Yes.
And he's really good. They've got some good defensive players. And, they've got some young players. So Ennis is kind of having a run through talent again. They don't have the Harrell brothers at quarterback, but they're pretty strong.
Absolutely. And then the last game that we look at, Mesquite Poteet, Woodrow Wilson, 2 10-1 teams. Another game at AT&T Stadium. Poteet, to me, I mean, the one game they've lost this year is Highland Park, and they just, they got off to a bad start in that game. But I really like Poteet, and I look for a Poteet win against Woodrow. And again, I think it's another game that on paper looks good. Both 10-1 teams. I don't think this is that close of a game either.
I think it's going to be hard. Woodrow is going to have to play the smash mouth football, but Poteet's not a good team to play smash mouth football. I mean, they've got Malik Jefferson, maybe the best defensive player in the country as a junior, as a linebacker, who looks like Adrian Peterson playing linebacker. During the most amazing thing you can see is come out in track season and watch him long jump. It looks like that NFL RoboCop commercial, a graphic where the guy's running down. So that's what Woodrow does. And they've got great linebackers, and then they've got receivers. Their quarterback, Lane Novi's a good quarterback. He's solid. He's kind of a fullbacky kind of runner. A lot of explosiveness. I just think it's going to be really hard for Woodrow to hang with Poteet, as it would be for any team.
I agree. Well, all these teams are looking for the same goal. Everybody wants to be practicing on Thanksgiving when they start the year, and if you can do that, that means you're pretty deep in the playoffs. And so we've got some good games this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about a lot of really good games.
Yeah, the third week of the playoffs, there's no cheap wins.
Right.
There's no, well, they finished fourth in their district. All those teams are
They're
gone.
out. Yeah, you're right. So we'll be back here same time next week.
Okay, great, Kris.
And we'll talk some more 4A and 5A football.